Good afternoon, everybody. It is always great to be a Miami Hurricane, but on a day like today, it is especially great to be a Miami Hurricane because we just got news a couple hours ago that for the second consecutive year, Mario Cristobal has landed the top portal quarterback available. And for the second straight year, he has flipped said quarterback from the NFL. I'm sorry, but that deserves a lot of praise. Whether you love Carson Beck for this season or not, I have said on my show that while he is not my first choice, there are other guys I would have considered before him. Obviously, Quinn Ewers, someone I would have considered before him. There was some smoke about maybe Sam Levitt possibly hitting the portal. He re-upped with ASU. I would have taken him in a heartbeat. And then a few other names thrown out there. But I honestly look at this pickup and I'm like, after John Mateer and, Levitt and Ewers, I think he is easily the next best option. And I don't think there's a ton of drop off here. Carson Beck, to me, is an ideal bridge between now and what you're going to have in the future with Luke Nickel, Darion Coleman, etc. He comes in, I'll start with the pros. He comes in with a ton of experience, has thrown for close to 7,500 yards over the past 2 seasons, has thrown for over 50 touchdowns and only 18 interceptions the past 2 seasons. This last season, his interception total was a bit higher than people want. It was 12. And, second half of last season, he didn't look great, but there's context to that. His wide receivers led the nation in drops. That's some context that needs to be included because if some of those balls are caught, imagine how many yards he would have thrown for. He wouldn't have thrown for 3,500. He would have thrown for probably close to 4,000. He did have a major weapon in 2023 in Brock Bowers that I think he was lacking this past season. He didn't have that go-to guy like he did with Bowers the year before. So I think that needs to be considered. Obviously, there's some negatives. The injury issue. And also, he's not the vocal leader that maybe Cam Ward is. He's a different guy, different type of quarterback. You're not getting Cam Ward. But the good news here is with what you're investing in the defense, Carson Beck doesn't have to come in here and be Superman. He just has to be effective. He has to run this offense smartly, effectively, and not give the game away. That being said, let me welcome my guest. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? Looking kind of distorted around here. How you doing, man?
I'm in a good mood today. I think you probably know why. It's yeah, I think the word is relieved. I think you got somebody more than adequate, somebody that can you hand him the keys to the sports car, he won't crash it. Yeah. I feel much better than I did 24 hours ago. How are you feeling about it?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I feel good, man. I don't think any of us are the biggest Carson Beck fans, right? We weren't like, hey, let's go get Carson Beck. But considering the options, considering what's left, considering what we had to choose from, I'm not mad. Top 10 quarterback in the country, not just, his conference, top 10 quarterback in the country. He has we know he's getting the surgery and everything, but by all accounts, he'll be just fine. He has an arm. He has a NFL arm. He has NFL size, and he can move. When they drop 8, he's going to run and get that 5 yards. He's not a statue back there.
Right.
So, and he's seen every top defense you can think of. He's played in every big stadium in front of all the crowds you can think of. So, coming into the ACC, he's going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going into the season with the schedule that we have next year and that little mini gauntlet we have to start, You
Sure.
got 2 of your first 4 games. Luckily, they're at home, but it's going to be a packed Hard Rock Stadium for both, with Notre
Mhm.
Dame, who at the very least will be the national runner-up coming in game
Sure.
1
Mhm.
with a solid defense for sure. And then you got Florida, I think week 3 or week 4, who they'll probably be improved. They'll be with DJ
Yeah.
Lagway for year 2. I don't
Mhm.
know what your opinions are on him. I think he's pretty good, you know?
Yeah,
Um, so coming in, I feel a lot better with a veteran like him that has played in so many big games. He's 2-0 against Florida.
absolutely.
I think he beat Notre Dame head to head, if I'm not mistaken, already in his career.
Yep.
So that's big to have a veteran like him to, be in the driver's seat and kind of navigate us through that tough stretch. And then the schedule doesn't get too much easier after that,
Right.
right? You got the
Yeah.
ACC and it's much improved. But yeah, obviously there's pros and cons to this. What
Sure.
are you concerned about with Carson coming in?
Um, Listen, we got spoiled in 2024, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got spoiled. So for me, when things break down, what is it gonna look like? Also, he won't be able to do anything until after the spring. So we won't see him for the spring game. So he has to come in and kind of learn the offense. He has to bond with the team. Um, so, but I'm really, I mean, keeping it a buck, John. I'm really not concerned, man. Like he's kind of a professional. Like
Yeah.
he's been at Georgia for this is his 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what's going on. He knows how to bond with his team. He learns offenses. He knows how to play the game. Like I'm really not concerned, man. I think this is um a great get. I'm cool with it, man. I'm really cool with it. I'm really not concerned about anything. If I could say one thing, it may be the surgery. It may
Mm-hmm.
be how he responds to the surgery. You
Yeah.
know, that's probably it. But you know, that's it.
Yeah. Playing time. Thank you for the dono. Really appreciate it.
No,
Need to add another wide receiver now. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue now that you got Carson.
well,
Um, yeah. How many? Well, the question is, you got the young guys that you want to
yeah,
obviously give an opportunity to.
yeah,
Do you add another? I think the answer is yes. I think, now you bring in a guy like him. If a big time target becomes available, you go for him. Do
yeah.
you bring in one more guy that could be like a dude, like a possible number one? Do you bring in a couple of guys? What is, you're the GM,
Yeah.
what does Joe do?
Yeah, I think if cats are beating down the door now, you hey man, come on through. If I don't know, KC Concepcion is like, you know what? I was just waiting for y'all to get a quarterback. I'm coming back. Then yeah, you get them, you bring them in.
Mhm.
If they're beating down, but not just bringing in anybody. You bring in top guys that can. I feel like we still need a deep threat. I still think we do not have a deep threat. Some people say that would be Nye Carr. But I think we need somebody to take the top off the defense, and I don't think we have that in the room yet. So
No, not a proven deep threat.
yeah,
Nykar could be the guy, but he hasn't stepped. I mean, a little bit in the bowl game, but really, he doesn't have a lot of snaps.
yeah,
Yeah. What about quarterback though? Because you mentioned earlier, Carson won't be available likely for spring. Probably
mhm,
won't be until the summer. So
mhm,
he'll be with the team,
yeah,
doing what he can, but he won't be under center taking snaps, playing quarterback against a live defense during the spring.
yep,
And that experience is important. You will have a lot of young guys. You have
yep,
Judd, you have um, Luke, uh, you know, getting valuable snaps, which I think is great that they're going to get. They're going to get a ton more snaps now with the first team. I
yes,
think that's awesome.
yes.
Do you just kind of leave the spring to them and let them develop as much as possible against that defense? Do you bring in a grad transfer just to have a veteran body?
Mhm.
Because I thought of this. I'm like, man, do you maybe still need a QB for the spring? Again, just to have
Yeah,
an experienced guy because they're so young, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, to me, I get Judd and Luke all the snaps available. I throw them to the Wolves. They get all the defensive looks. They get they get everything. They get the full gauntlet. I need them to get every single snap. So yeah, I don't think you need to bring in another vet. Um, I think you get the young boys all the snaps they can get, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Georgia Bulldog fan here. Appreciate them coming in and giving their input, obviously. Make sure you block because he folds like a lawn chair of pressure. Listen, man, a lot of us have watched the tape. I watched a lot of Georgia games.
Mhm,
Look, down here at Miami, offensive line is not something we're concerned with.
mhm,
And pass protection, that's not something we're concerned with. We got a running game, you know. Yeah, obviously he's going to have to make a few high pressure throws at some point, but for the
yeah,
most part, I don't think he's going to be put in a position where he's got to carry the team on his back like
mhm,
Cam was. Cam at many times was down 2-3 touchdowns in a game and had to
mhm.
like throw us back into the game.
Yeah,
That's not going to be the game plan here. I think it's going to be a lot more ball control, a lot more of a power scheme.
mhm,
Um, I just think Carson Beck fits that very well.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I, I don't think he's going to be a guy we're going to ask him to throw it 50, 60 times. If that's the case, yeah, that's the wrong use of Carson Beck, in my opinion.
But I think he can if that's the case. I was just watching the Alabama comeback, right? Like he was throwing that joint all around the field, man. Throwing
Mm-hmm.
it, making all the throw. He made some he messed up early. He looked bad early,
Mm-hmm.
but he made some damn fantastic throws in that game. I think
Mm-hmm.
he can do it if necessary. But yeah, that's definitely not going to be the plan, I don't think.
Right. Uh, 818 Cali Kane says the question is, does KC or Branch Brothers reconsider their decision? Hey, in today's college football world, we've seen guys. I mean,
And listen.
I don't know how it works. Like once you sign, is it a fit? Because I've seen guys renege on that before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen often. Once they sign, usually that's pretty solid. But I've seen
Yeah.
guys now go back on their national letter of intent. I've seen guys, change their mind, go back into the portal. How does that work? Like,
But
I don't know.
there's no letter of intent, right?
Right.
So
In this
you're
case, it's
signing your
not.
NIL deal and then you get into school. So I think probably once you enroll in
Yeah.
school, I think that's pretty official. But you have the spring window. So we've seen people enroll. I think Tyler Barron did that last year, right? He was at
Yeah.
a school for spring and then he left, so yeah. In the spring, I think we'll see more receivers in the spring window.
Yeah. I think so too. And I think receivers and running backs, I think the ones that need spring the least, if that makes sense, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damian Martinez came in the summer and took him like 3-4 games to kind of like get his timing back. But once he did, oh my God, he looked like an
Yeah,
NFL running back.
he damn sure did.
Yeah. Um,
Ooh.
let's see. I've seen several of his games. Once you enroll, oh yeah, answering your question.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben, by the way. Yeah, I guess once you enroll, it's official. Once you enroll, you're in classes, like that's it. And then the window opens again. That's what you got to wait for. But
Yeah, you got a couple months, and then get up out of there.
mhm. I think that's going to be a much more common thing. I think we'll see it a lot this year of guys. They'll bring you in for the spring, basically like as a tryout kind of
Fact,
thing.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
And
because
you still get the NIL though. If you sign, you
yeah,
get some NIL money, get your money, try out, and then go somewhere else if need be.
yeah, that's got to be so weird for
That's
like
crazy.
the ones that are actually like taking school seriously. Like, oh, by the way, I'm getting a degree in the process. Like,
Yeah,
I've been to 4 schools now.
yeah, that's
That's got to be
crazy.
so weird.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, Poke. What's going on, my brother?
Oh,
I haven't had him on my show yet. Actually, I got to have him on soon. especially
Yeah.
with baseball season starting. I know he's a big baseball guy.
Yes, sir.
So we have Emery and Judd in the spring game,
And Nickel.
and Nickel.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke is the one I'm most intrigued by to see.
Mhm.
Judd, I would love to see how he looks.
Yeah. Me too.
Year 2. I mean, I went to the Wake Forest game. I don't know if you were with us when we went afterwards to like stand by where the players come
Yep.
out.
Was there?
Yeah,
That boy
yeah,
big. That's a big deal.
yeah, and Judd
Big deal, man.
Judd walked out. We're
Yeah.
looking up at him like that, dude. Seriously, he's a big
and
boy.
his family was there. His little sister, she got to be like 6'2" or something. She's tall too, man. Gee.
Yeah, man. No, I'm intrigued to see how he looks in year 2 because he's labeled as kind of a project, but he looks very filled out.
Yeah.
And I've heard that he has come along well and really improved a bit, like quite a bit since he's come here. Let's see. I mean, we heard the same thing about Emery, so
I would love to see it. Yeah, Judd is a guy I would want to see, man, and he's another Georgia quarterback product. I would love to see it.
Yeah. Canes Raw. When are we going to get the Nike jerseys back? I'm wearing one right now. I'm wearing a Santana Moss or Antrell Roll, whatever you want to call it.
I had mine on Wednesday night, man. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen, brother. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I really don't care about that at this point. You know, Adidas, I think has done well for us. I as long as we're winning, I really don't care what the jerseys look like.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saying they didn't want Beck. I'm thinking, quote, he's better than what we currently got. That's a fact, 1,000,000%. He's way better than what we currently got. What did they want to rely on Emory Williams week 1? I think there's still a few people out there that are like, man, he deserves a shot. I'm like, look, I think the limited playbook in that bowl game was very telling. I know that. I mean, that first drive, we just pounded it and got that touchdown, right? When he came in, I'm like, okay, I get that. But look, you need to give him a couple of series here where he throws it a little bit just to see what you got. They did that, and it was no good. It was no bueno at all. And yeah, it was a small sample size. It was a half of football, but the amount of running we did, and it was just like little short dump offs and quick passes, stuff that he should have hit. You know, an adequate experienced quarterback just hits with their eyes closed.
Yeah,
and
that's what I've said. That's what I said. I think it's tough because he only got, we saw a drive or two where he was able to throw the ball, right? And yes, it looked bad. But the previous sample size we got, he didn't look that bad. Like against Clemson, same kind of game plan. He didn't look that bad. Florida State, he looked worse than Clemson. But, so I don't know, man. I don't think he's just totally terrible, but I definitely think we needed a QB in the portal. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. No, this is too important of a year to hand it to him and roll the dice.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think is on Dawson, though?
The lack of development, or
just him. I expected much more of a step forward for him this year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the lack of development, I guess.
I can't say that it's a total lack of development because all we saw was that little sample size. I would probably have to see a full game. Like, I need to see a game to know if he's truly like just ass, like truly. Like, I just need to see something more than that, because you have the receivers out there weren't the starting receiving core.
No.
We don't know if they knew what they were doing. We don't know if they were running the right routes. We don't know, what was going on. So I would really need to see like a full game plan, game preparation, all that to know. But I guess we probably won't see it at all. So So
No, at this point, I don't think we will. Nikar did stumble on one route. I remember
he
that.
did, yeah, coming out the
Um,
grid, yeah.
and there was the one that Shamar Kirk dropped. I think that was some of that is on Emery though, because that was a
He gunned it,
he
yeah.
launched that and it was like 3 yards away. It's like, dude, just a catchable ball. Take a little off, throw a change up.
Yeah.
He throws a catchable ball, nice and easy. It's a touchdown, but he launched it at him,
He did.
really close to him.
He did.
Poke says, I'm kind of thinking might happen. I still feel like there's going to be another QB, but I don't think it's going to be like a Sluka or somebody like that could actually compete for the starting job. I think it's just going to be, if we get somebody, it's going to be a body. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe a grad transfer.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And probably just a spring tryout, maybe they keep him, maybe they don't. Let's see. Dawson has a better version of Clayton too now. Yeah, I would agree with that. Beck's leadership will be the biggest question for me in general. How he is with his teammates. Cam was very liked by everybody. Yeah. Beck is pretty much universally liked. He's just not considered the in-your-face vocal leader that Cam Ward might be, which it's not a requirement. I just go out there and make accurate throws and don't throw the game away. That's all I want.
Yeah, everybody's not like that, and his play will earn the respect of everyone. If he goes out there, he gets dirty and he gets physical and all that, the locker room will respect him.
Yeah, especially the way he runs. If you notice how he runs, he's physical. He's 6'4", 220 something. He's not soft.
Nope.
I think that they'll see that tape and they'll see it in the practice field and they'll have respect for him. A lot of my fans hating on Carson Beck. I don't know if there's a lot hating, but there's a few. Meanwhile, Georgia wide receivers led the nation in drops. Yes, I did mention that earlier in the show. That is context that needs to be considered because even with the drops, what did Carson Beck, how many yards did they throw for? 3,400?
34, yeah, something.
3,485.
28 touches.
28 TDs, 7.8 yards per attempt. Last year, he had 9.5 yards per attempt, which I think led the NCAA or something like that. Bro, in the right system, he could be super efficient, super effective. That's why I'm like, man, him here assuming it's still going to be Dawson. We'll see what happens, but him with Dawson calling plays, who I think did a great job last year, with this offensive line that can pound the rock the way they can. And the ACC is much, I think the gap between the ACC and the SEC isn't like what ESPN will tell you. It's probably more like here. It is a drop off. You're not facing the same competition in the ACC.
It is.
You're not facing Alabama and then going on the road to face Florida and then facing LSU. You don't face any kind of gauntlet like that in the ACC.
Who are our away games next year? We're at Florida State.
Yeah.
We are. I think we got like 8 home games next year, right?
We do. Yeah. Tell you right now. Yeah, because those 2 big non-conference games are at home. Where's that Miami Hurricanes schedule? I'll bring it up one second. Schedule 2025. Oh, no, wait. That's basketball. Hold up. 2025. Okay. Yeah, because the times and dates aren't available yet for the conference games, but Notre Dame is on August 30th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, August 30th. Then Bethune on September 6th. Then USF the 13th. And the Florida Gators September 20th, all at home. Okay. So you start, there's a little 4-game stretch there. And then the dates and times are TBA, so it's not in this order, but we're at Florida State. We are home against Louisville. That should be a fun one. That should be a real fun one. Home against NC State.
Right.
So you got CJ Bailey coming back to the Rock.
NC State lost a lot too. NC State lost a lot.
No. They weren't the same team. They lost a lot on top of that. They lost Concepcion. So yeah.
They lost a lot of pieces in the secondary as well.
Stanford at home. Syracuse at home is going to be a fun one. Chance for revenge there. At Pitt, at SMU should be a fun one, and at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. So he's going to Blacksburg, which, tough place to play. SMU, I mean, it's a small stadium. He'll be fine. Florida State, I mean, they're going to be at best a 5-win team next year.
Yeah, right.
So I don't see not much of a road gauntlet there.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll be comfortable pretty much every game. Like, nah. So,
yeah. Tyler, thanks for the support. I think Beck has a real big upside from a pure talent and intangible standpoint. There ain't many in the country better than him. Hope you can put it all together. Love the show. Appreciate it, man. Like I've been saying, him in this system, I think system matters. Even in the NFL level, at all levels, for a quarterback to work, and be effective, system matters, man. And what's around you matters. So I think it's going to be good for him. Let's see. Yeah. At SMU, at VTech, at FSU.
Yeah, that's not like
none of those. I mean, in Blacksburg, I mean, historically, we haven't played great in Blacksburg. I'll admit that. I mean, the Virginia Tech Miami rivalry has pretty much been dominated by the home team. So being in Blacksburg, that's going to be a tough one. And I believe Kyron Jones comes back for another year. He, I don't think he's going to the league or anything. So that could be it. That's one you circle. That could be a tough one. But man, that home schedule is fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there's going to be some, assuming we get off to a nice start, let's say, you beat Notre Dame and stuff, that home against Syracuse will be a nice crowd. Home against NC State will be a really nice crowd. It's going to be good. Running game travels, defense is fixed, and we should be good with in the ACC with Beck.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm waiting for that DC hire, man. That's the next one, buddy. Next one.
You think we're close? You think it happens this week, in the next few days, or you think now that they have their QB, they're going to take their time?
Yeah, Coach Cristobal, man. I think it's going to drag out a little bit, man. I think you got NFL playoffs. I think you have college football still going on. I think there may be some coaches involved in those things that are in consideration, or that Coach Cristobal will want to talk to. So he's going to have to wait for a little bit, I think.
I 100% agree with this. This is a playoff team if we get a defense. I 100% agree. Who do you hope Mario brings in at DC? By the way, nice
different
from Bergie.
than reality. Hope is different.
Yeah.
Hope. We have a lot of hopes.
Yeah, here's the thing about coordinator searches I've noticed, and it's probably going to happen again this year. It's going to be a name that no one's talking about.
Sure.
No one was talking about Lance Guidry last year.
Sure.
Or 2 years ago. So if you're, people like Jim Leonard, guess what? It's not going to be him. People like Clint Hurt. Well, Clint Hurt, I can see him being a former Hurricane. He's the only, like, of the ones we've talked about on our shows, Clint Hurt is the only one that's like realistic to me that might actually happen, that I'm like, yes, you get him, I'm good. But yeah, is there any other name that's popped up lately that you like them to consider, or honestly, you don't care at this point? You just want somebody that's like proven.
I would like an NFL guy, somebody that's been in the NFL. New to me has been, well, he's not new because he was in consideration last time, the Campanella, linebacker coach for the Packers now.
He's for the Packers. Right? He was with the Dolphins for a few years, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hear that name this year, but I'm starting to hear it more and more now. Clint Hurt, obviously. Jim Leonard is my number one, if that could happen. That's my number one guy if that could happen. I think Muschamp would not. I don't think Muschamp is gonna do anything. He's not going anywhere. I don't think.
No.
That's it, really, man. I don't think Pat Fitzgerald is gonna be. I would like Pat Fitzgerald. I wouldn't mind Pat Fitzgerald at all, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case. Mel Tucker, I would love Coach Mel Tucker, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. So,
yeah, Muschamp. He has such a nice cushy situation there at Georgia. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Just get me somebody proven, honestly. Ideally, P4. Ideally, someone who has coached good defenses recently, not from 10 plus years ago. Pat Fitzgerald, I like that name. Head coach, obviously, who he's a defensive minded guy. He's just I don't think he's ever called defense.
No, because he's been a head coach since he was 31 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So, like, to go from that, to be a head coach for so many years, to all of a sudden you're in the booth with a headset calling plays, X's and O's. It's like that's a different animal. You know, I'm sure from a leadership standpoint, like a culture standpoint, he'd be great. But actually executing play calling, I'm not sure. Yeah. See. We'll end on this. I didn't want to be on too long. So Chi-Town Kane says rumors of a big time receiver coming after spring. Now that Beck is confirmed, any ideas on who?
I haven't heard one name. The only name that has floated is Casey Concepcion. That's the only name I've heard. But I don't know.
KC would be nice. I've loved him since I saw him as a true freshman last year, and I'm like, this kid is a star. He's going to end up somewhere. He's going to end up on another team for sure in the portal, but that's what I thought like last year. Like, this kid's a stud.
Yeah.
Ryan, what can you imagine? This kid hits the
portal. Listen, stop playing, Spo. Stop. Stop playing, man. I'll lose my damn mind.
I like whatever he wants, pay him. That would be my attitude if that kid hits the portal. And obviously, Jeremiah, that name's been thrown around. I think, this is my opinion, I think Jeremiah is being well taken care of, number one. Number two, he's getting the ball a lot. He's being people are taking notice that this kid is a generational star. And he's only a true freshman, which is insane. He's well taken care of. If anything, I maybe see him for his final year, maybe wanting to play at home, come back home to Miami, maybe. But even then, you're at Ohio State, bro. You're playing for championships. Hate to tell you.
It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart that he's there, man. It really, every time I watch it, I get sick. I get sick, man. It hurts.
And we were this close to getting him, too. He was like, for those that don't want to believe it, he really was considering Miami. Like, honestly, like, he announced his pick. He didn't sign until like 2 days later or a day later or something like that. He honestly was considering staying home, but we weren't there yet. Now, Miami really takes off in year 4. Let's say we make the playoffs and make a deep run in 2025. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's say it happens. Then maybe for his final year, his junior year, then maybe he takes a look at us like, oh man, I can win a championship there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But even then, it's like he's got such a good situation there. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yeah. Who you have tonight?
I got Ohio State tonight. I think they're clicking right now.
Yeah, I picked Texas to win it all early, so I'm sticking with Texas.
Yeah.
Sticking with Texas. Man.
Did you throw a little bet down before the season started?
No, I didn't. But I did bet on the NFL playoffs recently. So, but I didn't throw a bet.
I did before the season started. My bet was Georgia. That did not come to fruition. I really thought they were going to take it. Like the way they looked early, especially after that Clemson game, week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I got Ohio State tonight. I got Ohio State beating Notre Dame. And
I got Texas winning it all, man. So we'll see.
I hope you're right. I hope it's
me too, because I do not want to see Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Lord have mercy.
No.
Lord have mercy.
Absolutely not.
Hell
but
no.
but anyways, man, I'll let you go. I know it's Friday evening now. Go enjoy your weekend. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. CARSON BECK, baby.
Yeah, it's a good day. Miami got, I think, a very, very solid future NFL quarterback to run this offense, and I'm relieved. Very happy. I'm relieved. We got somebody, got him in the boat. We can relax a little bit now. So,
and if anybody on Twitter, X, or whatever can tell me why this isn't a good pickup, please do. I'll put the question out there. I want to know what's the issue. Like, I really want to know, because I just feel like people, you know how people do. They just want to find an issue. They want to find a problem. I really want to hear a legitimate gripe. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm. All right, you heard him. So, thank you again for being on. Thank you guys. 166 in the chat right now. It hit 170 something at one point. So, thank you guys for being on. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. And stay tuned for more content from myself and from Joe and Ben with the You Heard Show.
We'll be on Sunday. We'll be on Sunday, regular time.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
All
you.
about that. You go Canes. Thank you, brother.
Peace.